Good afternoon and welcome to the media news. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. The federal government says it would not entertain the balkanization of any part of the country as it maintained that there will be no room for secession. Minister of Defense Mohammed Abubakar, who reaffirmed the indivisibility of the country during a peace meeting in Plateau State, added that Nigerians living together is an obligation and not optional. Badaro also said the government is highly disturbed that some people would want to disrupt the current farming season. He acknowledged the recent attacks and reprisals in the Bakin Ladi and Riyom local government areas, resulting in the loss of lives and property, and pledged to deploy all necessary assets to ensure citizens' safety and security. The minister urged farmers and herders to renounce violence and embrace peace, recognizing their interdependence for socio-economic growth. He also commended security personnel for their efforts and expressed President Bola Tinubu's appreciation for their performance. The Nigeria Port Authority says no fewer than 4 vessels carrying imported premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, have arrived at seaports situated along the nation's borders. According to a document obtained from the NPA, about 123.4 million liters of PMS were berthed at 2 seaports to improve fuel supply nationwide. According to reports, the latest developments have confirmed that oil dealers intend to import the commodity to supplement the supply from the $20 billion Dangote Petroleum Refinery. The dealer stated that the supply from the Lekki-based plant is insufficient to meet domestic demand. They had alleged that the plant was producing about 10 million liters of petrol daily, as against the 25 million liters that it earlier promised to produce. It will be recalled that the dealers had last month imported about 141 million liters of PMS following a hike in the pump prices of petrol produced by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and released by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Noye Ayeni, says Nigeria's non-oil export sector experienced significant growth last year. Ayeni, who disclosed this in Lagos at a recognition dinner that honored top-performing non-oil export companies, stated that the country exported 6.685 million metric tons of non-oil products valued at $4.518 billion. According to him, this represents a 28.04% increase from the previous year, underscoring Nigeria's ongoing efforts to diversify its economy and reduce reliance on oil exports. Ayeni noted that 273 distinct non-oil products were exported last year, ranging from semi-processed goods to raw agricultural commodities. He commended the efforts of the exporters, stating that their contributions underscores Nigeria's immense potential beyond oil and serve as an inspiration to other businesses to tap into opportunities in the non-oil sector. Ayeni also announced the launch of the double non-oil export on initiative to further double Nigeria's non-oil exports in the coming years. In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria has said that Nigerians spent about $2.38 million on foreign healthcare-related services from January to June this year. According to a report from the Apex Bank on the amount spent on health-related and social services under the sectoral utilization of foreign exchange, showing that $2.3 million was spent in January, $1 million in February, and also $1 million in March, $1 million in April, and $5 million in May, and $2 million in June. It was learned that the amount spent on foreign healthcare-related services in the first half of the year was more than that was spent in the second half of last year, from July to December, which was at $6.9 million. The developments showed an increase of 1.6 $1.9 million of the amount spent from January to June this year. It will be recalled that President Bola Tinubu inaugurated the Nigeria Foreign Investment Authority healthcare expansion program, through which 120,000 frontline health workers will be retained, and he said that the move will reverse the trend of outbound medical tourism. Moving on to sports. Ahead of the Under-17 African Cup of Nations qualifier, crisis is currently rocking the WAFU regional competition. The medical department of the African Soccer Governing Body confirmed that 3 teams from the region have been disqualified from the championship. The football body has also said that the players presented by Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau have failed the compulsory magnetic resonance imaging. They further stated that the remaining countries, Senegal, Mali, Liberia, Gambia, and Mauritania, will compete in the competition, and they will play in the same group. While on the foreign scene, as the civil war rages on in Sudan, in addition to food shortages, residents in the capital Khartoum are grappling with a worsening water crisis as they now have to fetch water from the Nile River using carts or purchase untreated water, which has become scarce. The city's key water infrastructure, including a Nile River water treatment plant and several urban supply stations, has been severely damaged in the ongoing fighting. In addition, networks in multiple districts have been disrupted for months, leaving tens of thousands of households without water, coupled with shortage of personnel and spare parts. The Sudanese Ministry of Health said drinking untreated water has exposed people to illnesses, including the waterborne bacterial disease, cholera. The worsening health crisis and lack of basic necessities threaten to further escalate the humanitarian situation in Sudan as winter draws near. Sudan has been ravaged by a deadly conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the military rapid support forces, which started in mid last year. Still on the foreign scene, at least 26 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks throughout the Gaza Strip since dawn, including 18 in Jabalia refugee camp, as the forced expulsion by troops in the north continues. The United Nations Human Rights Office says it is concerned Israel may be causing the destruction of the Palestinian population in Gaza's northmost governorate through death and displacement. The UN said an Israeli army bulldozer demolished a peacekeeping observation tower in southern Lebanon, marking the latest attacks on the UN's interim force in Lebanon. According to Lebanon's health ministry, at least 12 Israeli measures hit Beirut's southern suburbs after attacks by Israeli killed at least 16 people across Lebanon. In Gaza, at least 42,603 people have been killed and 99,795 wounded in Israeli attacks since October 7 last year, while at least 1,139 people were killed in Hamas assaults on southern Israel and more than 200 taken captive. And that ends the media news on OSBC TV. Join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.